Hey, greetings, my fellow Liberians. By this time in Liberia is close to midnight. Today we celebrate our 175 independence. This is a message from the president and founder of the Liberia Enlightenment movement, a movement that is about to enlighten Liberians to know our value and where we can go as a people and as a nation. It is starting at 175. Our hospitals, our healthcare system is a mess. It is saddening that 175, our education system is falling, is failing. Another example, the current president declared free education. And after he declared free education, he cut the state budget, the state university budget. He reduced it. Does that make sound policy? I'm not bragging, but I understand policy because I'm a student of public administration. So, what is the one and great message I want us to receive from our movement? First is a message of reconciliation. Today, last night, I was reading a newspaper in the 1950s of the New York Times, and they were talking about William V. Enlightenment. He went up in the interior area. He was traveling with his fellow citizens. He was president at the time, and people started to use the name American Liberians. And he said, no. So we are all one people. There is no American Liberian. There is no native. In another sense, there is no Congo, as we said in Liberia. We must put that aside. The politics of tribalism, we must put it aside. And let's see where can we go in the next 20, 30, 40, 100 years. At 175, we are not investing in innovation. It's a time for us to be innovative. It's a time we invest in the future of our current generation in Liberia. You would not believe it. Liberia has one of the youngest population on the continent of Africa and in the world. Our voting population, 60% is below the age of 30. So then what is our responsibility as citizens? Is to elect people with character, people with innovation, people with ideas that will invest in the next generation, that in the next 20, 30 years, Liberia will live out of its beacon of hope to the continent of Africa. On this 175 independence, I want to tell you that we have been light in Africa. Go back to your history. Every country that gained our independence in Africa, it was during the administration of William V. Enlightenment. It was one of his priorities to advocate that make sure Africans' nation are free from colonialism. And he did it. He did it. So it is time for us to be innovative. It's a time for us to look at our country in a different way, in a different manner. We cannot keep giving power to people who are corrupt, people who abuse our resources, people that do not care for our nation. And I must tell you, my fellow Liberians, we have 14 years of civil war. And I must tell you, corruption had killed more Liberians than the 250,000 Liberians that died in the Civil War. It was just recently, one of my older sisters was taken to the hospital in my hometown of Buchanan. The doctors there, they asked for the money for surgery. They will only perform the surgery when they receive the money. Indeed, we had the money to pay. Our sister went had a successful surgery. Imagine those Liberians that are unemployed. That is about 98% of the population. Imagine if you were one of their relatives, that relative who had died. We wonder why young people and people die in our country every day. We've seen it on Facebook. And because we had a broken healthcare system. And we need to rise above tribalism and live out to the true meaning of our creed, the land of the free. That's the meaning of Liberia. It's a time we rise up and say no to division. It's time we rise up and say no to the epidemic of corruption that continue to dehumanize our fellow Liberians, that continue to corrupt our daughters, our sisters, our mothers, and our brothers. It's a time Liberians reflect on who you elect as a leader, who you elect to lead you into the next 25 years. Because in 25 years' time, Liberia will be 200 years old. So do we want to elect leaders that will guard our rights, and when they take political office, they do not care for us? So my fellow Liberians, rise above partisan. My fellow Liberians, rise above partisan. Because when we do, we can bring a transformation to our nation. If we choose Liberia, as our founding father said in the Lone Star Forever, he said, uphold it forever. Desert Liberia no never. Because I do not want to desert Liberia and live up to the creed of our forefathers. I visit my native country 2 times a year. And if you live in the U.S., you come across the video, it's a time we rise above tribalism. It's the time we come together as one. It's time we find our identity and our role as a country on the continent of Africa, the oldest democracy in Africa. It's a time we reimagine public service. And this is the time. I want to say happy independence and God bless you. Long live Liberia, happy land of liberty, land of glorious liberty, our home. Thank you.